Hello guys, welcome to Daddy Share Space in this episode of Daddy Share Space Daily. So a couple things here. I got a couple questions or comments and or questions or whatever that I got yesterday and maybe the day before that I'm going to address now. Um, One of them, gentleman was basically saying that I need to start using my dominoes to get more up to speed with them. I totally agree. One of the things I was thinking about doing was making some kind of a jig, which as I think it out more, I'll explain it, but a jig that helps me to line up the domino when I'm putting it in free space on a board. Basically, like it's easy to register off of the edge of a board or off of the lines when the dominoes in the parallel or vertical position, or what I mean, like horizontal to the board. But when you're going perpendicular, like when the domino's sitting face down on a board and you're going into the middle of a panel, I know there are techniques that I can learn online to do that. But because I didn't put the time in to actually watch those videos and master that technique, the two times that I got to that point in a project and I realized that I hadn't developed that skill yet, both of those projects went off the rails. One of them being like I was actually planning on using dominoes on that miter saw stand, and I was unable to do it because, well, at least unable to do it at that time because I realized, okay, I got to figure out the calculations and the registration on where this needs to go. And because I'm working with limited time in the shop, I just said, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to, by the time I got back around to it, I just went ahead and went with the pocket holes. I also planned on putting glue on that joint, and I brought the glue out. And when I was setting up those L clamps, I set it up, and my plan was just to kind of set up the L clamps to hold the panel up and then put glue down and then put the board on top and then fasten the L clamp. I got so fixated with putting the L clamp on that I totally forgot to put glue on it. So I just moved forward, and you know, I'll get better later. So that's the issue with the dominoes. As far as the Milwaukee 12-inch miter saw, someone wanted me to kind of give a kind of a review between that and the Kapex. I can't speak on the Makita because I don't own a Makita miter saw at all, so I don't know about that quality or whatever. I still can do like a surface overview between the Milwaukee 12-inch miter saw and the Kapex if you guys would like me to. That's no problem. However, I'm just gonna say right off the bat, I would not buy a 12-inch Milwaukee miter saw, period. I would not do it. Mine is going out, and as I put a video up talking about mine going out, there have been at least 2 or 3 other people that have had the same problem, that have shipped some people have been able to ship their tool back in, and they either got another one or whatever, and they were told that it's going to go out in the same way. I reached out to a couple places that are supposed to fix Milwaukee tools here where I could take them. They don't take them because the cost to fix them costs more than the saw themselves. And I guess they just don't make a lot of money doing it. So it's not convenient to honor the warranty. Now, I have not contacted Milwaukee directly, so that's on me. But to me, it just seems like too much of a headache. And for $800 saw, of which I just heard from someone recently that said it's a motherboard issue that goes out and that it's going to go out about every 4 to 5 years or so. I don't want to think about having to buy a new miter saw every 4 to 5 years, especially when you use it as little as I have, because I have the DeWalt and the Milwaukee, and I bought them around the same time. And the Milwaukee's, you know, basically it's on its way out. So I would not in any way recommend the 12-inch Milwaukee miter saw. And as far as the Kapex, I haven't had it long enough or used it thoroughly enough to give a true long-term opinion about that. But I can do a little video talking about the features. If you'd like me to do that, I'll do that. Next, I want to talk about I got an extremely thorough comment from a gentleman, and I do plan on addressing it in a little bit more detail. However, I'm on a shortened break, so I'm just going to get to the point. First and foremost, I want to thank the gentleman for his comment about buying 2x lumber. He specifically said from Lowe's, but you know, a big box store is a big box store, whether it be Lowe's and Home Depot. So that's really going to help me move forward. Unless the project requires a 2x4, from this point on, I didn't realize how much I was fighting with wood. And hearing this gentleman's explanation about his experience up to 15 years later, these 2x lumber boards having the tension inside of them that cause you to have to deal with a lot of cupping and warping, I feel like I've been doing this the hard way. And so I am going to move away from using 2x lumber unless, of course, I'm doing like some kind of framing of some big project. I'm no longer going to continue to try to split 2x4s to make boards. I'm going to have to, do my own investigation and figure out what's the cheapest type of board that I can buy to tinker with to get better with my skills as far as hardwoods. And then also I'll be moving into using cabinet grade plywood, which is the cheapest plywood that looks halfway decent, that's ready for paint finish and such, MDF, and maybe particle board if I do the veneering. So that's the pathway that I'm going to go down, which is going to help me a lot, because then that means I don't even have to consider getting a bigger bandsaw at this season, because I'm not going to be doing any resawing. I do have an older, I think it's like a Delta or so. I can't remember what brand that is, Rockland or something, bandsaw that's sufficient for most things. It doesn't have the fence, nor does my Ryobi desktop have the fence. But for smaller projects, those bandsaws should be perfectly fine. And I may even get rid of one of those. But since I'm going to move away from working with a lot of 2x lumber, hopefully I'll see an advancement in my skills, because I didn't realize how much I was fighting wood. I just thought that maybe it was me being super unskilled, which I'm not skilled. But to hear that someone had a board in their shop for 15 years and it still had a lot of tension in it, yeah, I've been fighting an uphill battle. So I think this weekend I'm going to take all of my old 2x lumber that's in the shop. I'm going to take the old CDX plywood that I have that's in the shop, and all of that, uglier type of wood and all the cutoffs that aren't going to amount to anything. I'm going to load that stuff up in my truck and probably take it to the dump to get rid of it, because there's no reason for me to continue to make ugly projects with CDX plywood and/or to be trying to wrestle with the 2x4, 2x10, 2x8 when it's just really not the best wood for the project. So I'm moving on as far as that. And yeah, so there's that. I think besides that, I think that's all that I have for today. Oh, I wanted to speak about yesterday. So I was planning on putting up a video yesterday. I was making just a French cleat holder for a Ryobi hand palm router, 18-volt palm router. And I was going to do a second one too. And so I'm using my table saw, I'm using some of my tools, woodpecker marking tools, and I ended up getting to a point to where I needed to use my bandsaw, and it had been stored all the way in the back in the storage area of my shop, and I was going to have to pull out a whole bunch of stuff to get to it, to do the cut that I wanted to do in the way that I wanted to do it. And so I tried to improvise, and I tried to use the combination of the table saw and the jigsaw, which wasn't the best application for the job. And I ended up just kind of like basically breaking the thing that I was working with. I was using CDX plywood anyway, so it was looking terrible anyway. And I just kind of got frustrated and threw the piece across the shop. And I didn't even bother to look at the footage to see if there was any kind of video that could be salvaged. I was a bit, bummed out about that. And so I just put up the episode of the daily, Daddy Share Space Daily, and I just went with that. I was planning on putting out a build video, a small one, but yeah, it just wasn't a good shop day. The last thing I think I want to ask in this particular video is I'm thinking about changing from Daddy Share Space Daily to Daddy Share Space Weekly or something like that, and maybe putting out a video, especially a talking head like this, maybe once a week. And I don't know, you guys let me know what you think. Do you like the dailies, or do you feel like I should just wait and kind of compile the things that I either have to talk about or different things that I want to share, and just maybe do a video once a week, or maybe a couple videos a week, like one being the Daddy Share Space Daily, and then the other video being like whether it be an unboxing or some kind of build video. Let me know, guys, what you think. Anyways, my lunch is about over, so I'll see you in my next video. Take care.